Hi guys, welcome to Midnight Anime Library. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Your support means everything, so hit that button and let me know what you want to see next. Please ignore images. The Day the World Learned Saitama is the strongest. Part 9 Chapter 81, Breakthrough Evolution, Blood Wolf Form. Silverfang arrives, a kick to the face. After watching the 8-part video of Garou, the viewers all knew that this guy was truly strong. Not only was his strength formidable, but his willpower was also incredibly strong. If no one stopped him, the viewers were starting to wonder if he might evolve into a monster similar to Saitama. Of course, that was very difficult, but it didn't mean it was impossible. Just then, the screen showed another reveal. On the screen, just as Garou was dragging his severely injured body toward the tin shack, a roar suddenly came from behind, and Genos made a flashy entrance. I received a distress signal. Judging by the situation, you must be the hero hunter, right? I am going to eliminate you. For the first time, the viewers felt that Genos had the oppressive presence of a villain. Next, Genos didn't say another word and launched an attack directly at Garou. Boom! 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 Explosions rang out one after another as the two engaged in an intense exchange on the ground. Machine gun fist. Water stream rock smashing fist. Trading blows, the battle instantly reached a fever pitch. What was terrifying was that Garou's injuries were not only gradually healing during the fight, but his physical performance was also quietly improving. However, his willpower was being drained the most, and his mental state was somewhat flagging. So strong. Amazing speed, strength comparable to Tank Top Master, and the decisiveness to fire high-heat cannons in succession. It's too much for me to handle right now. Damn it! Garou turned around, seemingly intending to flee. Genos said coolly, "Give up. You won't be able to escape. I'll use that move." At this moment, Garou began to imitate the movements of Watchdog Man, using both his hands and legs simultaneously to move at high speed like a beast, making it impossible to see his trajectory. Genos was startled. He actually switched to a different movement pattern? In an instant, Garou snapped off Genos's right arm. Just as Garou was feeling triumphant, that severed arm actually locked around Garou's throat, then pinned him to a tree trunk, holding him firmly in place. It's useless. Genos remained calm. Garou was still defiant. Heh, one after another, it never ends. You heroes are paying a lot of attention to me, aren't you? Being this popular really makes me happy. Genos's palm began to gather energy, and he said coldly, because of the emergence of a powerful monster association, the world is in chaos. Heroes need to unite to deal with this situation. There is no time to waste on a small fry like you. Garou roared, I'm a small fry? Then come and help me out, demon cyborg. If I take you down, people will fear me even more, right? Boom! Just as Genos fired his incineration cannon, Garou used his feet to kick the tree until it snapped, dodging the blast. After landing, Garou clawed wildly at his hair. Not only did his hair turn blood red, but his right eye did as well, and the aura he radiated became increasingly ferocious. Seeing this, the viewers were shocked by Garou's terrifying vitality. Originally, after going through 8 parts, Garou was clearly on the verge of death. Yet he not only endured it, but was also able to go toe-to-toe with Genos. What terrifying vitality this was! Even more heaven-defying was that this guy seemed to have evolved again? Look at his eyes and hair. Why does it seem like he's leaning toward becoming a monster? Could it be that he wants to complete his transformation into a monster by relying on his obsession with monsters? Holy crap, is that even possible? Then we're in trouble. Referencing Bakuzan, who reached dragon level after becoming a monster, Garou is much more terrifying than Bakuzan. If he becomes a monster, he will be at least a peak dragon level, or perhaps, he could become a god level monster. That hits the nail on the head. The strongest human monster in history. Back to the video. At this moment, Garou sneered, I will let everyone know that the strongest monster that no hero can defeat is right here. There is no such thing here. Genos retracted his left arm and prepared to fire his incineration cannon at Garou again. Suddenly, a bunch of monsters emerged from the ground and attacked Genos from behind. What's going on? Garou was stunned at the sight. At this moment, a sunflower monster appeared behind Garou. We are from the Monster Association. Garou-san, we've come to pick you up. You're in a lot of trouble right now, aren't you? We will help you. Garou was annoyed. You guys again? The association's higher-ups want to invite you to join as an executive. What a great offer. Not interested. Get lost. No, this time you don't have a choice. We are just following orders. Just then, Garou suddenly tilted his head, dodging a sudden slash. But the sunflower monster behind him was instantly killed by Genos with a single strike. I didn't expect the hero hunter to be associated with the Monster Association. Yesterday's crushing defeat made me realize that there are many monsters in this world that exceed imagination. No matter when a threat appears, I will never let my guard down again. And, the me of today is stronger than the me of yesterday. Genos said with a serious face. Saitama-sensei once said that to pursue a higher realm, one must train their own spirit. I am gradually understanding this now. A sneak attack of this level cannot defeat me. Garou was stunned. Saitama-sensei? The strongest hero whom no monster can defeat. Incinerate. Just as Genos was preparing to fire his incineration cannon to eliminate Garou in one blow, Silverfang suddenly descended from the sky and kicked Garou in the face. Bam! Garou was kicked and spat blood on the spot, flying dozens of meters away. At this moment, an intense BGM started playing. Silverfang stood with his back to Genos and requested in a deep voice, Genos-kun, could you leave this to us to handle? Hearing this, Genos hesitated slightly. Suddenly, a one-eyed monster swung a club down at Silverfang. Bomb appeared in a flash and used a whirlwind iron cutting fist to slice the one-eyed monster into a donut. With that, the video ended. The viewers began to discuss it heatedly. Garou has a connection with the Monster Association? However, looking at Garou's attitude toward the Monster Association, he seems to be very repulsed by them. I hope Garou doesn't collude with the Monster Association, otherwise it will be trouble. At this moment, not only were the viewers anxious, but the heroes couldn't sit still either. Screen chat box. Sweet masked Garou, if you choose to collude with the Monster Association, I will eliminate you with my own hands. I hope you don't disappoint me. Atomic Samurai at Silverfang, I always feel that your kick was a bit unnecessary. If you hadn't interfered, Garou might very well have been wiped out by Genos' incineration cannon. Silverfang, sorry, I cannot let Garou die at someone else's hands. Atomic Samurai, it seems, you still have a soft spot for Garou in your heart. Watchdog man, it's a pity. When Garou was hunting the future me, I actually failed to take him down. Child Emperor, no need for regrets. With 3 S-class combatants present, unless a dragon-level monster comes to the rescue, Garou will have no way to escape this time. Tank Top Master at Silverfang, please help me get revenge. I'm counting on you. Metal Bat, you're really spineless, can't you get revenge yourself? Tank Top Master, I don't think I can catch up to him anymore. Prisoner, Tank Top-chan, let me pat your head, don't be sad. Super Alloy Darkshine, Garou is going to be in trouble this time. Silverfang is very likely going to give him a severe beating. On the other side, Garou also clenched his fists. Seeing his future self surrounded by Silverfang and the others, it would be a lie to say he wasn't panicked. Because he couldn't think of any possibility of escaping. If it were just Genos alone, he might still have a chance. But with the appearance of Silverfang, it was basically impossible for him to escape. Unless a dragon-level monster really came to the rescue. Chapter 82, The human heart is more terrifying than monsters. At this moment, the video began again. In the footage, after Bomb finished off the one-eyed monster, he said to Bang, leave these monsters to me. Bang, you handle Garou. Thanks, Oni-chan. Bang waved his hand and walked up to Garou. Long time no see, Garou. Garou's pupils constricted. This voice, has the most troublesome geezer arrived? Bang stood with his hands behind his back. Look at the state you're in. I will put an end to this. Come at me. Hearing this, Garou struggled to stand up and assumed a combat stance. Bang also assumed a stance, confronting Garou from a distance. Looking at the battered and scarred Garou, Bang couldn't help but recall his first encounter with young Garou. Just then, Garou roared and launched a charge, pouncing forward like a wild beast. Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist. Bang ended his recollection, his fists transforming into beams of blue light, instantly beating Garou until he was bruised and battered. After enduring a wave of damage, Garou also unleashed the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, trading blows with Bang. Genos observed the battle from the side and analyzed, offense and defense in one, every movement is flawless. Even though they are using the same technique, the gap in completion is obvious. The outcome is already decided. Sure enough, the next second, Garou's fist technique was crushed by Bang, and then he was brutally beaten, to the point where he even began to hallucinate. What is going on? How can this damn geezer have such fierce attacks? It's nothing like his style at all. Crushed. I'm losing consciousness. No, I'm actually going to be beaten to death. In his days, Garou remembered the movements of Watchdog Man, moving at high speed like a quadrupedal reptile, managing to break free from Bang's barrage of punches. Seeing this, Bang said indifferently, "What kind of strange movement is that? Who did you learn that from? You're just like a wild beast." Meanwhile, Garou quickly ran toward Death Gatling. It's not over yet. As long as I grab him, I still have a chance. Clearly, Garou intended to take Death Gatling hostage to threaten Bang. Don't even think about it. But suddenly, Bomb flashed in front of him and kicked Garou into a pile of monster corpses. I've finished off those monsters. Bang, now only Garou is left. Watching Garou struggle to get up, Bang exclaimed, "Oni-chan, if it were you, could you still stand after sustaining such heavy injuries?" If I were 60 years younger, of course I could hold on like him, probably. Bomb changed the subject. Alright, let's finish this quickly. Let's go, Bang. Right. As soon as he finished speaking, the two old men rushed toward Garou and began a tag team beatdown. In just one encounter, Garou was beaten by the two until he was bleeding profusely. That old geezer Bang, actually taking advantage of the situation when his former top disciple is out of energy, and even teaming up with Bomb of the Whirlwind Iron Cutting Fist, 2 against 1, have you no shame? While defending against the beating, Garou thought of a countermeasure. Even if I pretend to beg for mercy, the demon cyborg won't let me go. In other words, to survive this desperate situation, I have to kill all three of them, but how is that possible? Boom! Bang kicked Garou in the head, leaving him battered and bleeding. Taste the pain my top disciple Sharenko experienced, Garou. Bang 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 bang! Bang roared, and his attacks combined with Bomb's intensified, beating Garou so hard he started seeing his life flash before his eyes. In a daze, fragments of childhood memories flashed through Garou's mind. At this point, the video ended. Garou is probably done for this time. Even if Garou's health bar is thick and he can endure, he can't handle being beaten by two grandmasters teaming up. I bet Garou will still be able to escape this time. If I lose, I'll donate money to the Hero Association. If I win, I'll eat stone. The guy above doesn't want to eat stone, just say so. First he went through an 8-person brawl, then got worn down by Genos, and finally the tag team beatdown from Bang and Bomb. Garou's defeat is honorable. It's funny when you think about it. It feels like Garou was either on his way to beat someone up, or on his way to getting beaten up. He's even having his life flash before his eyes. Garou is probably really going to die. Under normal circumstances, a life-flashing flashback only appears in 2 situations. 1. When near death. 2. When breaking through one's limits. Garou has already broken through before, it's impossible he's going to break through again, right? Therefore, it is highly likely to be the first situation. Since Garou's fate is sealed, the audience's attention shifted to Garou's memories. They wanted to know why Garou chose to become a monster instead of a hero? Sensing the public opinion, the screen continued to reveal. In the footage, young Garou appeared, holding an encyclopedia of insects. This scene was exactly the same as Nosebleed Xiong. Nosebleed Xiong had 3 friends. Similarly, young Garou also had 3 friends. Let's play the hero role-playing game. You want to play too, right, Garou? Although Garou wasn't very willing, he didn't want to spoil his friend's fun, so he agreed, okay. Bang bang bang. Just a Superman flying kick. Shouta, playing the role of Superman, kicked the child who was playing the monster. Seeing this, Garou couldn't help but feel uneasy. That's dangerous. Ha! The monster is too pitiful. Seeing that Garou actually sympathized with the monster, his friend suggested, then, you be the monster. Just then, the consciousness of adult Garou appeared, looking at this scene with some surprise. What is this? A memory before death? TCH, picking such an annoying memory. At this moment, Garou looked at one of the children. I remember his name. I remember now, the ringleader Shouta, he was popular in class. The scene changed. In the classroom, Shouta was playing the hero game again, wanting to bully Garou. But this time, Garou did not choose to endure it, instead, he resisted. And his resistance drew reprimands from the other classmates. They were just playing a hero role-playing game, but Garou took it seriously with Shouta. What the hell, what is he thinking? Dachan is so pitiful. The scene changed again to the teacher's office. The teacher angrily questioned, why did you fight with your classmate? I heard you got angry at your classmate because of the hero game, is that so? Garou hung his head, because Shouta is always. The teacher sternly reprimanded, can't you even distinguish between a game and reality? No, they always make me play the monster. The teacher didn't listen at all, the scolding grew louder, you were the one who hit someone first. How are you going to take responsibility for this? At this moment, the audience felt as if they had become Garou. Even through the screen, they could feel the unwillingness and anger of being isolated, misunderstood, and bullied. No wonder the people in these memories had no faces, only nightmare-like, abstract monster shapes. Sometimes, the human heart is more terrifying than monsters. Chapter 83, There are no heroes, or rather, everyone is a hero. As Garou watched the memories, he questioned his own heart. I don't hate playing the monster, I just don't like letting Shouta be the hero. No, that's not it. In the hero role-playing game, I felt absolute injustice. The hero game was just entertainment that faithfully recreated children's shows. What roles were played and who played them should have been free choices. Shouta was the popular kid in class, while I had a gloomy personality, didn't have any friends, and was always alone. Hero roles required everyone's consent to play, so of course, it was never my turn. Furthermore, in no script could the monster win, I was destined to be defeated. Someone popular with everyone defeats the weakling hated by everyone, it was always the same routine. Then, the audience saw Shouta get others to hold Garou down, and then kick him in the face himself. In class. I can't take it anymore. Garou pointed at Shouta. Shouta, let's settle this. Ha? What are you talking about? I don't want to play the monster anymore. If I win, you have to swear not to bother me again. Shouta laughed, everyone, help me hold Garou down. Countless hands reached out, restraining Garou. Garou struggled, that's so despicable. Let me go, I want to duel Shouta. The screen went black. Then it moved to the teacher's office. The teacher questioned him again, everyone is saying that you were the one who started the fight while playing the game. Garou looked aggrieved and explained through tears, it's not true. Because Shouta is popular, everyone is helping him and calling me the bad guy. The teacher shouted sharply, wrong. It's because you did something bad. Go apologize to everyone. What kind of bullshit justice, what kind of bullshit evil? In the end, was I just being bullied based on the principle of the minority obeying the majority? Such injustice is unforgivable. I'm furious. I just want to make them understand, to let them taste the blow of the weak. The camera panned back to reality. Garou, covered in blood, now had eyes filled with unyielding ferocity. I will deny the standard of good and evil. With that, the video ended. The audience was moved by Garou's experience. At the same time, they gradually understood why Garou had become the way he was today, even going so far as to become a monster. He just wanted to deny the standards of good and evil and ensure fairness for everyone. Why should the popular Shao-De represent justice? Why did the teacher label Garou a bad guy without investigating the cause? This is disguised school bullying. The teacher's inaction and favoritism affected Garou's entire life. Ask yourselves, if you were bullied like Garou, could you guarantee you wouldn't turn dark? It can be seen that Garou's true nature is kind. Although he strikes hard, he has never killed anyone. It's not Garou who is wrong, it's this world. The world is wrong every day, the world is truly pathetic. I disagree. Right is right, wrong is wrong. This is the value system of human subjective judgment. Garou's attempt to change it is anti-human. Not everything can be measured by right and wrong. This world isn't just black and white, there is gray too. Actually, there is no right or wrong, only strength and weakness. I wonder if everyone noticed that Shao-De represents social Darwinism. Are the strong supposed to humiliate the weak? Confirmed, those above are all idiots. Just as the audience was arguing fiercely about this, the heroes were also discussing it among themselves. Screen chat box. Silverfang, Garou, so your childhood was this unfortunate. Having spent so much time with you, I realized I never truly understood you. Atomic Samurai, in other words, Garou sees us, the Hero Association, as Shao-De, and wants to deny the standards of good and evil by defeating us? Sweet. Mask, I have to respect his resolve. If it were me, I couldn't do it. Child Emperor, you're not a monster, why are you comparing yourself to Garou? Sweet Mask, Saitama, how come I feel like what Garou said makes a lot of sense? Genos, Sensei, you support Garou too? Saitama, as long as he doesn't kill people, even if he calls himself a monster, I don't think it's a big deal. To each their own, right? There's no need to be a hero to uphold justice, monsters can do it too. Sweet Mask, monsters can also uphold justice. Yes. Monsters can also uphold justice. Newman Writer, justice has never been about words, but about actions. A hero is not a title, but a responsibility and a mission. Suma Mason. I didn't mean to preach. Saitama, well said. Hero is just a code name. There are no heroes, or rather, everyone is a hero. Since even Saitama said that, the audience gradually let go of their prejudices and tried to understand Garou's actions. After changing their perspective, the audience realized that Garou was simply standing on the side of the weak, challenging the strong. Just like people in society who have the courage to stand up and fight against unfair people and events. In a sense, Garou is also a hero because he uses his actions to uphold his own justice. At this moment, the video continued to reveal more. It's over, Garou. As soon as the words fell, Bang and Bomb prepared to step forward to deliver the final blow to Garou. It's far from over. Unexpectedly, Garou roared, erupting with terrifying power, shattering the ground within 100 meters in a single blow. Because of this, Bang and Bomb's attacks were disrupted. Garou looked up and roared, his aura surging once again. Clearly, he had evolved again. Just then, a phoenix appeared in the sky, its wings flapping to create a hurricane that forcibly blew everyone present away. Then, the phoenix grabbed Garou by the shoulders and took him up into the sky. Seeing Garou being carried away, Genos prepared to fire his incineration cannon to shoot them down. Bang, however, couldn't bear it and wanted to stop him. Genos-kun. Bang, he is already a monster. I'm going to shoot them both down, you don't have any objections, do you? Hearing Genos' words, Bang wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't. Just at that moment, Phoenix Man in the sky knew he was being targeted by Genos and hurriedly shouted, "Can you hear me? I'll bring Garou back, I'll leave the rest to you." Elder Centipede. At the same time, Genos fired his spiral incineration cannon. Boom! But the next second, Elder Centipede burst out from the ground, blocking directly in front of Phoenix Man, stopping the entire spiral incineration cannon, completely unscathed. Seeing this, the audience's scalps tingled. Why did this giant centipede come out again? Hiss. This is a dragon-level monster, I wonder if the three of them can handle it. Classic no damage after smoke. If even Genos' ultimate move can't cause damage, how are they supposed to fight this? As expected, Garou still managed to escape in the end. What about the guy from the Red Stone? Chapter 84, The Pinnacle of Martial Arts, Exploding Heart Release Fist Screen Chat Box. Atomic Samurai at Silverfang, you have become somewhat indecisive. Silverfang, Sai, Super Ally Darkshine, Garou's evolution speed is too fast. I estimate that the next time you meet, Silverfang might not even be able to defeat him. Zombieman, I didn't expect Garou to be able to escape like this. Child Emperor, the Monster Association really went all out, actually sending Elder Centipede to rescue Garou. It seems they value Garou highly. Tatsumaki, humph, they are all just trash anyway. Meanwhile, seeing himself being saved by a monster, Garou felt a wave of frustration in his heart. He didn't want to have any dealings with those monsters at all. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. Take it one step at a time. Anyway, now because of the screen's exposure, future events will change. For example, he has already activated his evolution ahead of schedule, and even activated the power of Gaia, touching the threshold of the limiter. Garou is confident that even facing Bang, Bomb, and Genos, he can compete with them. With this power as his backing, he doesn't need to collude with the monsters. Back to the main point. Garou being rescued by Phoenix Man did not mean the matter was over. It could even be said that with the appearance of Elder Centipede, the threat of the monsters had officially begun. After all, this is a genuine above dragon level monster, with defensive capabilities even comparable to Dragon Peak level. If no one comes to stop it, then the entire city will be destroyed. In the video, Bang, Bomb, and Genos, in order to prevent the injured A-class and B-class heroes from being killed by Elder Centipede, hurriedly launched a rescue. In the sky, Garou, held by Phoenix Man, questioned with a displeased look, "TCH, why did you have to interfere?" Don't ask, leave it to Elder Centipede. It is the great disaster that devours everything, possessing an intoxicating, absolute destructive power. Phoenix Man said indifferently, "Rest assured, Elder Centipede will end all of this for you." Garou was furious and kept struggling, "You don't need to meddle in my business, they are my prey." Phoenix Man was helpless, Alright, stop making a fuss." Garou became more and more angry, even threatening, "Damn it, put me down, otherwise I won't let you off." Phoenix Man was impatient, "Why are you angry? Not finishing off your opponent is your problem. Being able to take the opportunity to take out two S-class heroes is quite advantageous for us. After all, they are our greatest enemies. You felt it just now, right? There is such a thing as mutual restraint in battle. According to our strategist Joro, the only ones who can fight Elder Centipede are the unique Esper, Tatsumaki, Metal Knight, with unfathomable military power, King, who is hailed as the strongest human, and the top-tier hero who once pushed Elder Centipede into a desperate situation, Blast. It is said that Elder Centipede agreed to join forces with the Monster Association just to take revenge on Blast. It is so active precisely because it wants to draw out Blast. From the perspective of mutual restraint, those two S-class heroes do not have the ability to handle the current situation. Although Silverfang has outstanding strength, he can only deal with enemies of an appropriate size. The performance of the Demon Cyborg, despite being outstanding, cannot exert firepower beyond the weapon's capabilities. The fate of those people is certain death. Phoenix Man's analysis made the audience suddenly worried. Because the other party was not talking nonsense, but analyzing from an objective perspective, the credibility was quite high. Analysis is just analysis, practical operation is definitely different from analysis. We must have confidence in the heroes. No matter how much confidence you have, you can't improve combat power out of thin air. The strength of the trio, Bang, is at the S-class level. Even if they can't win, they shouldn't die, right? Hard to say, after all, Elder Centipede is too overpowered. Except for Boros, I haven't seen a monster stronger than it. Isn't there also Orochi from the Monster Association? Orochi might not necessarily be stronger than Elder Centipede. Just as the audience was discussing combat power, Elder Centipede in the video had already rushed towards the trio of Bang. Genos stood in front of the two, put his hands together, and fired a wave of laser cannons. And Bang and Bomb stood behind him, ready to launch an attack. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The laser cannon split, accurately hitting Elder Centipede's eyes, blocking its vision. At this moment, Bang and Bomb's eyes flashed with red light. Both stepped forward, and with the posture of Tai Chi Yin and Yang, they joined forces to unleash a combined attack technique. Whirlwind. Water stream. Exploding heart release fist. Boom. The terrifying combined technique hit Elder Centipede's face directly. The terrifying shockwave exploded instantly, causing countless cracks to appear on its head. Crack crack. Bang. Finally, Elder Centipede's huge body was actually sent flying by the combined force of the two, and the cracks spread from its head to its whole body. Mata Mata Day. Bang and Bomb roared, and the two seemed to transform into pile drivers, frantically outputting damage to the lower body of Elder Centipede. Ora ora ora. Muda muda muda. Seeing the operation of these two old men, the audience exclaimed that it was awesome. What is called old but vigorous, ginger is still spicier when old. These two people perfectly interpreted this point. Not only were the audience shocked, but Genos was also extremely amazed. What a terrifying move. It can actually shatter an outer shell of that strength. It is simply the pinnacle of martial arts. Ah! Suddenly, Elder Centipede roared, forcibly resisting the impact, and rammed into the two old men who were outputting damage. Seeing this, Genos hurriedly rushed up, propped up behind the two old men, and helped them break. Bomb said with a hint of regret, "I was careless." Bang comforted, "Fortunately, this ultimate move, which can only be used once, finally hit successfully. It helped a lot, Genos." Genos shook his head, "You two are welcome. Thanks to you, the enemy took our combined attack solidly. Next, the force will spread throughout its entire body." Looking at Elder Centipede, which was about to collapse, Bomb said in a deep voice, "Shatter into pieces, you damn monster." Bang was expressionless, "It's over." As Bang finished speaking, Elder Centipede exploded, and shell fragments rained from the sky. But the next scene shocked the three of them. Before their eyes, a long, white, skeletal centipede appeared. A moment later, Elder Centipede grew a new face, and its body changed from bone-white back to deep purple. Bang was shocked, "Really? It can actually molt?" Bomb frowned, "Then we can't solve it, what should we do?" Bang's expression was solemn, "Outside is the city area. If it is released, ordinary citizens will be in danger of their lives." At this critical moment, Genos stood up, "Bang, I will deal with it. I will try my best to hold it back. You guys take the opportunity to escape." Bang shook his head, "Genos, we cannot agree." Bomb also advised, "Don't act recklessly if you know there's no chance of winning. Young people still have a long life ahead." Hearing this, Genos remembered the doctor's advice and couldn't help but ask himself, "Do I really want to compromise like this?" At this point, the video ended. Chapter 85, That Man, the King of Trash Talk. King appears when the audience saw Silverfang, Bomb, and Genos working together and still failing to break through Elder Centipede's defense. Their hearts tightened. If it were a small monster, even someone like the previous Kuketsu would likely have been wrecked by the three of them. But when it comes to Elder Centipede, they only managed to make it lose a layer of skin. Seriously, Genos really can't compete here. He'd be better off listening to the two old men and taking the chance to leave. I'm wondering, if Elder Centipede really finishes off Genos, will Saitama go berserk? And then storm the Monster Association's lair? Definitely. Genos is Saitama's loyal partner. If your wife were gone, wouldn't you go berserk? Don't underestimate the bond between Saitama and Genos, you idiot. The video continues. In the scene, Genos is wondering whether he should compromise. I cannot compromise. After making up his mind, Genos shot straight up into the sky and, under the shocked gazes of the two old men, flew right into Elder Centipede's face. At this moment, an intense BGM started playing, and Genos began unleashing a flurry of attacks. Unfortunately, he still couldn't break through its defense. Dual Blade Dance. With this move, the monster elder's eyes were slashed and started bleeding. However, Genos also had his left leg destroyed. Suddenly, Elder Centipede grabbed Genos with its tentacles, then clamped down with its mouthparts, instantly cutting Genos in half at the waist. If this continues, I'll be taken out of the fight. Just then, the power core in Genos' chest suddenly erupted with dazzling light. Then, Genos reattached his lower body, his right foot emitted high-temperature flames, and he accelerated, kicking toward Elder Centipede. Jet Drive Arrow. Bang! The terrifying impact force directly shattered Elder Centipede's teeth. Then, Genos charged into Elder Centipede's body, burned his power core to the limit, and fired the super spiral incineration cannon. Boom! In an instant, the terrifying high-temperature explosion swept through Elder Centipede's entire body, causing it to suffer severe burns. Unable to take it, Elder Centipede spat out Genos, who was corroded and in tatters. However, Elder Centipede's defense was not only insane on the outside, but its interior was just as tough. Even after suffering the high-temperature burns, it was completely fine, and even grinned, making a mocking face. Seeing this, Genos, covered in white sludge, instantly had a mental breakdown. It's like this again. I can't win. But the audience didn't think so. Genos' performance was already good enough. He didn't disgrace his title as the budget warrior. It wasn't that Genos was weak, but that he was always fighting high-level matches, and his opponents were too monstrous. Back to the video. Elder Centipede reached out its tentacles, wanting to take Genos out in one hit. Fortunately, Silverfang appeared just in time, hoisted him up, and fled. On the other side, Bomb was playing stacking games, carrying 8 people at once and running toward the city. Genos, being carried by Silverfang, reflected in his heart, what exactly am I missing? There isn't just one of these guys. Watching them do as they please, am I really left helpless? Bomb hurriedly said, Silverfang, this isn't good. If this continues, it's going to enter the city area, and ordinary civilians will be in danger. Silverfang looked serious, placed Genos under a tree, and then took off his clothes. Onyachan, it's up to fate now. Hearing this, the audience was moved. Whether it was Genos or Silverfang, they were all trying their best to stop Elder Centipede. Even knowing they weren't opponents, even knowing they might die, they still acted without hesitation. This is what a hero is. Screen chat box. Tatsumaki, you can't even beat a little centipede, you're really weak. Silverfang, this Elder Centipede is really, truly strong. Atomic Samurai, I wonder if my atomic slash can cut it to pieces? Zombieman, those of us who are just ordinary people probably can't deal with it. Drive Knight, even an upgraded Genos couldn't beat Elder Centipede, it seems I need to collect more data. Child Emperor, collecting data? Drive Knight, you seem to be like Genos, relying on upgrading parts to get stronger, right? Drive Knight, my point is, collecting enemy data and having an AI model analyze it allows me to adapt to various monsters by switching to advantageous forms. Child Emperor, Naruhodo, at this moment, Metal Knight, who was lurking in the chat, felt that Drive Knight was suspicious. Drive Knight is too mysterious, and its tactical transformation reminds me of an old friend's research project. It seems I need to send some nanobots to secretly monitor Drive Knight's movements. Clearly, Metal Knight had become suspicious of Drive Knight. Back to the video. At this moment, Silverfang had prepared himself to die, deciding to fight Elder Centipede alone. Silverfang pressed his palms together, recalling a line Netero said when fighting the Chimera Ant King in the Hunter x Hunter manga he had read. This is the last time I will give it my all in my life. Just as Silverfang was preparing to die, that man appeared. King was seen holding a megaphone, shouting loudly, "Elder Centipede! Hey! Pest! I've brought the blast you were looking for." Hearing this voice, the three of them were shocked. Is that voice King? Blast is here? Hey, look, it's turning its head toward where the sound came from. On the other side. Elder Centipede, having turned its head, looked at King on the ground. Blast? That's right. The hero who once beat you until you were bruised and battered, scared out of your wits, and running for your life. Blast! If you want to fight him again, come over to my side. What, are you afraid? Coward! Hey, if you're scared enough to crap yourself, go home and do it. A little bug like you should just roll back underground and drink your mother's milk. King was unleashing his verbal assault while activating his King engine, full of aura, bluffing Elder Centipede completely. The audience, who knew King's true colors, almost died laughing. But it had to be said, when it came to the lethality of trash talk, it had to be King. The scene changes. Hero Association Headquarters. Fubuki breathed a sigh of relief. It looks like King seems to have made it in time. The female staff member nodded. Yes, he asked us how to provoke Elder Centipede. He intends to attract the enemy's attention and take them out one-on-one. The female staff member looked serious. Although it was confidential information, we still told King about the history between Elder Centipede and Blast. What did King say? King only left one sentence, "I understand," accompanied by the deafening sound of his King engine. Seeing this, the audience completely lost it and started laughing out loud. Pfft, Suma Mason, No, I shouldn't laugh, but I thought of something happy and I just couldn't help it. It's too funny. The more serious it is, the more it makes people unable to hold back their laughter. Every time I think about the King engine just being the sound of King's scared heartbeat, Ha ha ha. King, are you guys polite? Chapter 86, Saitama Summoner confirmed back in the video. King threw away the megaphone, put his hands behind his back, his expression gloomy, aura of a powerhouse fully unleashed, facing Elder Centipede directly. To take down the enemy, I have to lure it here. I can't use attacks that will affect the city, that is all. Honestly, with this posture and this aura, who wouldn't say true man, upon seeing it? Just as King finished speaking, Elder Centipede had already charged right at him. Mr. Saitama? Seeing Elder Centipede getting closer and closer, King was already sweating profusely from fear. Finally, unable to withstand the pressure, he shouted, "Mr. Saitama!" Ding! Congratulations to the host for a successful summon. The next moment, Saitama descended from the sky, landing in front of King, accompanied by some BGM, and Saitama delivered a serious punch. Boom! With this punch, Elder Centipede was instantly blown up, its long body annihilated on the spot. Seeing this scene, Silverfang, Bomb, and Genos were all stunned. Saitama returned to his bald egg art style, looking into the distance. Is that Genos? You really are here. We came to the right place. King was suddenly stunned. Huh? Mr. Saitama, you seem much more energetic? Saitama's bald egg head flashed. Maybe it's because I kept losing to you at video games, which has been frustrating me for a long time. Now that it's released, I feel much better. King was speechless. You still remember that? At this moment, Genos walked over step by step, leaning on his cane. Sensei Saitama, I would like to ask you a question. What? What do you think I am missing? Strength, I guess. Hearing this, Genos suddenly realized, his spirit invigorated. Thank you for your guidance, Master. This scared King to death. No, you can't take Mr. Saitama as a reference. Mr. Genos. Master can always point out the direction for me. The symbol of strength is my ultimate destination. Looking at the chasm in front of him that seemed like a heavenly ladder, Genos felt a sense of yearning. I must reach it. Thus, the video came to an end. After watching, the audience exploded. As expected of King, the Saitama summoner is confirmed. This is King's highlight moment, right? Although the monster was taken down by Saitama, why do I feel like King is the main character? Exactly, even Genos and the Bang brothers had less impressive performances than Saitama. No wonder Saitama always gets his credit stolen. His presence is too low, or rather, he's too grounded, just like a passerby. Perhaps this is the highest realm of a hero, coming from the masses and returning to the masses. Although the comments said this, the audience knew in their hearts that the real protagonist was Saitama. If not for Saitama, S-City and the heroes would be in danger. Speaking of which, will the real-life Elder Centipede dare to wreak havoc on the surface again after seeing itself being obliterated by Saitama's punch? At this moment, Elder Centipede, hiding tens of thousands of meters underground, watched everything on the screen through Joro's projection ability. I'd better stay underground honestly. Even if I go ashore in the future, I must first see if there are any bald guys nearby. Thinking of this, Elder Centipede immediately ordered the newly subdued subterraneans to keep an eye on Saitama's movements at all times and report back in a timely manner. Screen chat box. Silverfang, as expected of Saitama, always a one-hit kill as usual. Atomic Samurai, compared to my flashy Atomic Slash, Saitama's one-punch finish is more visually impactful. Super Alloy Darkshine, Saitama really brings glory to us baldies. Saitama, I repeat, I am not a baldy. Child Emperor, King-san is also very impressive. This round of trash talk is invincible. At Metal Knight, Doctor, you should learn from King instead of not showing your face all day. Metal Knight, even if I don't show my face, I have ways to eliminate Elder Centipede. Drive Knight, really? I don't believe it, unless you have a real combat demonstration, or a simulation, but the data must be public. Metal Knight, Drive Knight, I find that you seem to be targeting me everywhere. Do you have some misunderstanding about me? Drive Knight, I am just stating facts, I don't mean to target anyone. Sitch, alright, everyone is a colleague, let's not have infighting. The priority is to unite and deal with the Monster Association, this powerful enemy. Regarding the threat of the Monster Association, the audience was also terrified from the bottom of their hearts. Just Goketsu and Elder Centipede alone almost made the heroes despair. If not for Saitama saving the day, the consequences would be unimaginable. Furthermore, there must be more than 2 dragon-level monsters in the Monster Association. There is still the stronger Orochi who hasn't appeared yet. Garou is also a huge potential threat. Can't rely on Saitama to save the day every time, right? What if one day there's a supermarket sale and Saitama happens to be unavailable? Who else can carry the banner of resisting the Monster Association? Meanwhile, inside the Monster Association. After watching the scene of Elder Centipede being instantly killed, the monsters were collectively silent. In terms of defense, Elder Centipede was at Dragon Peak level, even more terrifying than Orochi. But even so, it still couldn't withstand one punch from Saitama. So, looking at the entire Monster Association, who can fight Saitama? At this time, Goketsu suggested, is there any need for us to gather together? If Saitama finds this place, we risk being wiped out. Black Sperm agreed, exactly, we'd better do our own thing to avoid being taken out in one go by Saitama. Homeless Emperor disagreed, you are dampening our own spirit and boosting others. Saitama is not invincible. I firmly believe that someone can fight him. Black Sperm retorted, if you are willing to provoke Saitama, that's your own business, don't drag me into it. Anyway, I don't want to go die. Don't you agree, Pochi-chan? Woof. Pochi barked in agreement. Seeing the monster's low morale, Joro became anxious. If this continues, the team will fall apart. No, must find a way to stabilize them. Don't panic. Didn't the screen say that Garou is the strongest monster in history? I think Garou might be the key to countering Saitama. Now, what we need to do is stay steady, then recharge our energy and silently accumulate strength. Also, as long as everyone doesn't go out wandering and doesn't get discovered by Saitama, basically nothing will happen, so everyone doesn't need to be so pessimistic. Hearing this, the monsters also felt it made sense. They had been under Saitama's house for so many years, hadn't they been safe and sound? If they used the darkness under the lamp well, it might even be safer than going out wandering. Might as well take advantage of this safe time to wait for the screen to expose Saitama's weaknesses while secretly accumulating strength, or go find Garou to cooperate. The current Garou is no longer what he used to be, his strength is even more terrifying than in the video. Previously, Joro sent Bug God and Overgrown Rover to invite him, but they were instantly killed by Garou. The current Garou's strength is probably stronger than Buketsu. This is also the reason why Joro changed its attitude and sought cooperation with Garou. Chapter 87, Saitama is like a condom, giving people a full sense of security. Elder Centipede being taken out in one hit by Saitama truly shocked the entire monster association, and at the same time, it made the monsters behave much more cautiously. However, everyone understood that this was only based on the deterrent power of Saitama. If Saitama were busy one day, the monsters would definitely run amok again. After all, through the screen exposure, the whole world now knows that this guy Saitama likes to go to supermarket sales, so as long as one picks the day to make a move, they cannot go wrong. At this moment, another video was exposed. On screen. Hero Association Headquarters. High-ranking officials were holding a meeting. I never expected that the dragon-level Elder Centipede would be killed in one hit. Are you sure that Elder Centipede was really destroyed on the spot by King? Although it is hard to believe, this is something only King could accomplish. As expected of the strongest man on Earth, it's fortunate that King is on the side of humanity. However, Silverfang failed to eliminate the hero hunter, right? Sitch, what do you suggest we do? Faced with the board members questioning, Sitch looked solemn. Garou can no longer be considered human, the association will treat him as a dragon-level monster. What about Blast? Make him come. My son, Waganma, has been kidnapped by monsters. Narenki roared, if you can't even save my son, why should I invest in you? At this moment, a man in a suit with a mechanical eye spoke up, we will definitely save your son. Narenki frowned, who are you? The man in the suit said calmly, Pig God, the commander in charge of this rescue operation, please treat me well. After watching this video, the audience knew that the Hero Association was about to take action against the Monster Association. There was no choice, the Monster Association had kidnapped the financier's son. If they didn't exert their strength, no financiers would be willing to support the association in the future. I have a strong premonition that this operation to encircle the Monster Association will give birth to a god-level monster. Isn't that just stating the obvious? The screen title already gave it away. A god-level monster is good, it needs to exist. That way, Saitama won't be lonely. It's strange to say, but as long as this guy Saitama is around, I don't worry about any god-level disaster at all. Saitama is like a condom, giving people a full sense of security. This kind of metaphor, have I lived to the end of my life? But excessive safety is boring, we want to see exciting battles, we want thrills. The guy above is still too well protected. Is the Hero Association going all out this time, or are they only sending S-class heroes? They'll probably go all out, after all, there are too many monsters, and no matter how strong the S-class heroes are, they can't kill them all. Back to the video. On screen. Tatsumaki put her hands on her hips, hostages? The monsters really know how to cause trouble. Whatever, if they didn't do that, they wouldn't be able to compete with me at all, since all monsters are afraid of me. Pig God advised, I hope you don't underestimate the enemy, they are very powerful. Tatsumaki was impatient, alright, I've heard enough of your exaggerated words about the enemy. Did you call us here just to say this? Pig God looked helpless. Child Emperor is also stepping up his efforts, tracing the tunnel dug by Elder Centipede to investigate the enemy's lair. Tatsumaki switched to a cartoon art style, and with the most innocent tone, said the most terrifying thing, the monster lair is somewhere in Z City Ghost Town, right? Then wouldn't it be fine if I just leveled the whole ghost town? Pig God broke out in a cold sweat, there are still hostages in the hands of the monsters, please think twice. Actually, yesterday, Drive Knight ignored our advice and entered the ghost town alone to investigate, but last night, his signal was lost. Super Ally Darkshine was shocked upon hearing this, why would he act alone? Pig God looked grave, perhaps he had absolute confidence in his own strength. But now, I suspect he has likely been taken out. Tatsumaki looked indifferent. Whatever, just hurry up and assemble the S-class heroes. Who else hasn't arrived? Pig God, there are still 3 days left before the deadline. The other heroes will arrive after they finish their preparations. The scene shifted. Atomic Samurai asked Super Alloy Darkshine, "You said they kidnapped a child as a hostage?" Super Alloy Darkshine was puzzled. "You don't know anything?" Atomic Samurai, "Why is there a smell of blood on you all?" Atomic Samurai explained, "Yesterday, we went to search the deep mountains and caves, hacking up the monsters that were hiding, but unfortunately, we didn't find the Monster Association base." Super Alloy Darkshine looked speechless. "Well, of course, the Monster Association base is in Z City Ghost Town." "Nanny, has it already been figured out?" Atomic Samurai felt a bit embarrassed. Afterward, he instructed his 3 disciples, "Since that's the case, you 3 go and rest, and prepare to fight at any time." "Yes, Master." After watching, the audience also felt embarrassed for Atomic Samurai. He worked hard to find the Monster Association base outside, only to realize he was just busy for nothing, suffering needlessly. However, there was one thing that the audience found hard to accept. That was that Drive Knight's signal was lost. Doesn't that mean he was taken out by a monster? This possibility is not small. After all, there are strong individuals in the Monster Association, and it wouldn't be strange for them to kill an S-class hero. Screen chat box. Tatsumaki, TCH, it would have been better to listen to me and just level the ghost town. Saitama, hey, my house is right there. If you level it, will you compensate me? Tatsumaki, Baldy, do you have no shame? Is that your house? You have the nerve to say that when you're freeloading. Saitama, I freeload based on my own ability, why can't it count as mine? If you're so capable, don't live there. Zombieman, as expected, Tatsumaki at Zombieman, when we are arguing, is it your turn as an outsider to butt in? If you open your mouth again, I'll level you. Zombieman felt so aggrieved inside. Are zombies not people? Do they deserve no human rights? Of course, he only dared to say this out loud, and didn't dare to post it in the chat box at all. Genos, Master, why don't we strike first and wipe out the Monster Association in advance? Saitama, but the ghost town is so big, and I don't know where the Monster Association base is. It couldn't possibly be under our house, right? Genos, that's true, the area of Ghost Town is not small, and the Monster Association base is hidden, so it is indeed difficult to find. Saitama, Sai, let's just keep watching. The Hero Association is stepping up their search, they should be able to pinpoint the exact location soon. After reading Saitama and Genos' comments, Psychos almost peed herself in fear. Fortunately, Saitama, looking not very smart, successfully skipped the correct answer. However, the situation is still very dangerous. Who knows if this guy Saitama might have a random thought one day and decide to go for a stroll underground. If the base is exposed, then their fate can be imagined. To be safe, it's best to run away. Joro hurriedly asked, "Awakened Cockroach, how many monsters are left that haven't evacuated yet?" Awakened Cockroach reported, "About half, after all, we can't make too much noise to avoid alerting Saitama above. Urge them to hurry up. It doesn't matter if the noise is loud, because I feel that before long, the screen is going to expose our location." Yes. Chapter 88, Scaring Monster King Orochi into changing his name. The video continued. On screen. In the prison, prisoner was confused. "Warden, you won't let me use the back door, but you're letting me leave through the front door. Is that really okay? This is what they call an extra-legal arrangement. I can't stand the fact that the Hero Association actually grants special treatment to a prisoner like you. But this is a one-time exception. I won't say anything more." Earlier, a cat-type monster turned some of the inmates into monsters and took them away. The prison guards who went to intercept them suffered heavy casualties. "You're a hero out there, right?" The warden looked solemn. "I'm counting on you, prisoner. Please avenge us." Hearing this, prisoner left behind a back view full of passion. "Leave it to me. Just as prisoner was about to leave, an inmate suddenly shouted, "Boss, wait a minute. I knitted a new sweater. If it's alright, please wear it." Prisoner looked moved. "Arigato. You have not only brought me passion, but also courage." Amidst a pink, romantic atmosphere, the video ended. The viewers, however, were speechless. It was too eye-searing. However, putting aside those eye-searing things, the viewers were also happy for prisoner. You have to know, the warden has always hated evil and couldn't stand prisoner frequently breaking out through the back door to fight monsters outside. But this time, the warden actually personally asked prisoner to leave through the front door. From the back door to the front door. It might seem like just a one-word difference, but it represented the warden's recognition of prisoner. Back to the main topic. Based on the information exposed in the video, the viewers already knew. The heroes participating in the subjugation of the Monster Association this time were Tatsumaki, Child Emperor, Super Ally Darkshine, Pig God, Prisoner, Atomic Samurai, and his disciples. The lineup looked decent, but there were still quite a few S-class heroes missing. There should be more people than this. I look forward to further revelations. On screen. Child Emperor sent away the men in black behind him and then quietly contacted Metal Knight. "Metal Knight, are you there? What is it? I know you must have already grasped the location of the Monster Association base, right? Tell me quickly where it is, otherwise it'll be too late. Do you intend to stand by and watch the hostages die?" "Metal Knight, if I don't tell you, it's standing by and watching the hostages die. If I tell you, not only the hostages, but even you will die. I will make a reasonable choice based on justice." Child Emperor hurriedly said, "There is another option, and that is for you to join the battle too. What exactly are you afraid of? What happened to your machine? Monster King Orochi." Metal Knight's tone grew heavier. "With just a single blow, it pierced my machine, and even the self-destruct mechanism was disabled in an instant. What I fear is not the Monster Association, but other evil forces. They are eyeing this world covetously, and when human defenses gradually weaken, they will launch a full-scale attack. You also need to be careful, don't easily trust those people around you. Before that moment arrives, I suggest you preserve your strength, Child Emperor." Seeing that Metal Knight had ended the communication, Child Emperor was somewhat speechless and finally sighed. After watching the video, although the viewers didn't know what the evil forces Metal Knight spoke of were, they already knew some information about the Monster Association. Monster King Orochi. It actually destroyed Metal Knight's machine with just one blow. Thinking about this, the viewers immediately became nervous. You have to know, Metal Knight's machine possesses S-class combat power. If Orochi could one-shot it, doesn't that mean it has God-level combat power? At the very least, it must have semi-God level combat power. With such a terrifying monster, if it weren't for Saitama, Earth would probably be finished. Earth, am I a pharmacy? Finished every day? On-screen chat box. Tatsumaki, humph, what kind of bullshit Monster King Orochi? A mere monster, I can destroy it with one hand. Atomic Samurai, it looks like Orochi is at least Dragon Peak level, otherwise it couldn't hold down the fort. Super Alloy Darkshine, I wonder if Monster King Orochi's tentacles can penetrate my anus? Saitama, Monster King Orochi? What an imposing name. Genos, Sensei, it's not Monster King Orochi, but the Monster King, Orochi. All heroes, huh? Saitama, calling it Orochi is so low class, it makes me lose interest in fighting it. Genos, then let's just call it Monster King Orochi again. Meanwhile, Monster Association Lair. When it saw that Saitama wanted to fight it, Monster King Orochi immediately panicked. Inside the Monster Association, it could bully its own, because no one was its opponent. But outside, Saitama wouldn't indulge it. No. Change my name, I must change my name, right now. From now on, I'll be called Orochi. Whoever dares to call me Monster King Orochi again, I'll fight them to the death. At this time, Awakened Cockroach came to report, Lord Monster King Orochi, currently 60% of the monsters inside the base have successfully evacuated. Lord Joro ordered me to inform you that you should also evacuate as soon as possible. Shut up. My name is Orochi. Before Awakened Cockroach could finish speaking, its body was pierced by Monster King Orochi's tentacles, and then it was swallowed in one gulp. Until the moment of its death, Awakened Cockroach didn't understand what mistake it had made. The video continued to be exposed. On screen, Hellish Blizzard was climbing the stairs to Saitama's place. The Fubuki group has been completely wiped out, although half of it is my sister's fault. But this is an emergency situation, and it's necessary to use this place as the branch of the Fubuki group. Ding dong. Saitama, huh? Hellish Blizzard opened the door, wanting to say hello, but discovered that the person opening the door wasn't Saitama, but Bum. Oh, are you a friend of Saitama? Bum welcomed Hellish Blizzard inside. Please come in. Come out and greet the guest, Saitama-kun. As soon as she entered, Hellish Blizzard was stunned. Why were there so many people? In the living room, it was chaos. Saitama and King were playing video games. Bang was lying on the floor with half his butt exposed, giving himself acupuncture. Genos was more fastidious, sitting on a newspaper to repair his parts. This scene left Hellish Blizzard completely confused. Seeing that Saitama was still immersed in the game, King reminded him, Mr. Saitama, Hellish Blizzard has come to see you again. Saitama was indifferent. Women only affect the efficiency of my gaming. Genos looked guarded. What is it, Hellish Blizzard? Let's get the unpleasant talk out of the way first. Sensei doesn't take apprentices, one of me is enough. Seeing this, the viewers all smiled meaningfully. Genos's reaction, hee, it looks just like a boyfriend afraid of being cuckolded. Can't help it, Saitama is just too attractive. Let alone Genos, if it were me, I'd be defensive too. Genos, don't look down on the pure love between me and Sensei, you bastards. Meanwhile, outside the video at Saitama's apartment. Seeing Hellish Blizzard being so spineless, Tatsumaki immediately lashed out at her fiercely in front of Saitama. Chapter 89, Teacher, don't believe Tatsumaki, she just wants to take the opportunity to keep you. Tatsumaki wasn't angry that Fubuki went to seduce Saitama. A mere man wasn't worth getting that petty over. What she was truly angry about was that the future Fubuki didn't tell her and had actually participated in the crusade against the Monster Association without authorization. Tatsumaki issued an ultimatum, you stay at home and behave yourself, do you hear me? Fubuki, however, was dissatisfied, why should I? I can fight too, I am a hero too. If you don't listen, I'll lock you up. I won't. Immediately after, the two sisters actually broke into a fight. Watching the house start to shake, Saitama, who had originally been eating melon seeds and watching the show, panicked completely. Stop it, the house is going to be destroyed. Who would have expected that Tatsumaki would wave her hand, acting incredibly overbearing, if your house is gone, come live at my place. This, isn't that good? To be honest, Saitama was a bit tempted. After all, Tatsumaki was a rich woman, and the house she lived in must be higher class than his. My place is a huge mansion, even a guest room is bigger than your living room. Saitama's eyes lit up, and the scales in his heart began to tip. Seeing this, Genos quickly advised, Teacher, there is no place like home, and when you are under someone else's roof, you have to bow your head. Do not be deceived by Tatsumaki. She just wants to take the opportunity to keep you and make you completely become her vassal. Nanny, that vicious? Saitama immediately broke out in a cold sweat, feeling lingering fear. Tatsumaki was a bit flustered and exasperated, you damn blondie, what kind of nonsense truths are you spouting? She didn't have that intention at all, she just purely wanted to show off her mansion to Saitama, never expecting it to be misinterpreted by the evil blondie like this. Regardless of whether it was a misinterpretation or not, Saitama believed it anyway. He quickly said, Stop fighting, if you keep fighting, get out of here. Hearing this, Tatsumaki glared fiercely at Genos and reluctantly withdrew her psychic powers. Fubuki breathed a sigh of relief, if they continued to fight, she would most likely be suppressed. Fortunately, she could borrow Saitama's influence to gain the upper hand over her sister. After the farce ended, everyone's attention shifted back to the screen. At this moment, a new video was exposed. In the footage, looking at the people in the living room, Fubuki was a bit at a loss. What exactly is going on here? At this time, Saitama finally reacted, "Huh? Why? Are you here?" Hearing this, Fubuki was a bit exasperated. This is an emergency situation. This monster organization is extremely dangerous, even my Fubuki group was wiped out, and you still have the mood to play games? I'm asking you, do you even know what the situation is right now? Why are you yelling so loudly? I just got home, what's wrong with resting? As he said this, Saitama lay back down. Fubuki was quite angry. You are not allowed to lie down. Genos explained, just as teacher said, we also just fought against a strong enemy, don't think that only you suffered. Alright. I can see that. Fubuki believed it. Genos, covered in scars, was obviously more convincing than the unscathed Saitama when saying this. However, she was still puzzled. It's one thing for King to be here, but why is Silverfang here too? Bang explained, I fought alongside them just now, but because I played too hard, I accidentally sprained my waist, so I stopped by Saitama's house to rest. Bomb added, my knees are also very painful. I haven't used the whirlwind iron cutting fist for so long, my body can't handle it. So you all went through a fierce battle too. But looking at the relaxed-looking Saitama, Fubuki couldn't help but get angry. But why is this guy still the same as usual? Fubuki couldn't accept it. I'm telling you Saitama, you're pretending to be calm on the surface, but in your heart, you're already panicking, right? Saitama lay on his side, his tone relaxed. Nope, it feels just like usual. Seeing this, the audience laughed. Little Fubuki, how laughable. She doesn't understand Saitama's strength at all. Fubuki doesn't actually think of Saitama as an ordinary B class, right? Saitama's B and Fubuki's B are not on the same dimension. Fubuki still hasn't found her own positioning? Ordering people around, she's really annoying. Except for King, who present isn't stronger than her? Sorry, my King can summon Saitama, so theoretically he is also stronger than Fubuki. And saying Saitama is panicking, don't make your brother Saitama laugh. However, since Fubuki revealed the intelligence this time, Saitama will most likely participate in the crusade, right? Now that you mention it, Fubuki as a tool person is actually somewhat useful. I really want to see how Saitama turns the monster lair upside down. Seeing herself in the video actually ordering Saitama around, the real-life Fubuki blushed. It was too embarrassing. Tatsumaki snorted coldly, not knowing if she was angry that others were mocking Fubuki, or angry about the relationship between Fubuki and Saitama. Back to the video. In the footage, seeing Saitama acting so lackadaisical, Fubuki couldn't stand it. In this situation, how can it be the same as usual? Genos' eyes turned red, staring at Fubuki. Saitama looked at King and asked doubtfully, what is she throwing a tantrum about? King, although I'm not qualified to say, this is not quite the same as usual. At this moment, Fubuki patted the small round table and said to Saitama, come sit here, we're having a meeting. Watching his house being occupied, Saitama looked speechless. By the way, what exactly are you here for? Fubuki didn't answer Saitama, but looked at Genos. Genos, you are an S-class hero, didn't the Hero Association headquarters send you the battle plan? Genos shook his head, no, my communicator was melted by me. Saitama, that's too reckless of you. Bang wiggled his but mine seems to have been lost as well. King explained, mine too, I accidentally broke it, it might have been shattered by that punch from Mr. Saitama. Hearing this, Fubuki was a bit anxious. We are about to go to war with that group of monsters, what should we do next? Genos, I need to complete repairs first. Fubuki, I can understand that. Bang, Oni-chan and I also need time to recuperate, we can't move right now. Bomb, have to admit we're getting old. Fubuki looked at King, what about King? King looked serious, I seem to have other things to do. Actually, he was thinking about the newly released Doki Doki Sisters series. Fubuki looked at Saitama, then the only ones who can act now are you and me. Do you have any suggestions? We B-class should also unite. Monsters usually do their own thing, but this time they united together. This is a rare situation, indicating they must be controlled by some leader and integrated together. Hearing this, Bang nodded. That's right, if Garou also joins the Monster Association, then it will be a bit troublesome. Bomb advised, it looks like there's no chance of encountering Garou alone, and over at the Monster Association, there are monsters of the level of Elder Centipede. Bang, I advise you to stop being a hero. King reminded, Mr. Saitama, the hero hunter you are looking for is also there, although he left just before you arrived. Saitama had black lines on his face. I won't spare him, and if he doesn't come to hunt me, that's even more unforgivable. Is it just because I am caped baldy? Then, Saitama put on his cape, put on his gloves, and prepared to go out. Genos asked anxiously, Teacher, do you know where Garou is? Saitama turned back, I'll look for him now. After I find that bastard Garou, I'm going to give him a good beating, and I'll also stop by to buy some groceries. As Saitama closed the door and left, Fubuki, who had been ignored the entire time, went straight into self-isolation. I was clearly the one in command, but they didn't take me seriously at all. At this point, the video ended. Chapter 90, Who Gambles and Loses Every Single Day. After watching the video, the audience truly felt aggrieved for Garou. Garou has already been beaten into amnesia by you twice, isn't that miserable enough? Please act like a human, Psycho. Speaking of which, does Fubuki really think she's all that? Even though she's green, she still doesn't know her place. I'd call Fubuki a giant baby. She's been too well protected by Tatsumaki. If it weren't for everyone humoring her, being a mere B-class, she wouldn't even have a seat at the table. She should learn from King, when you know you aren't capable, just stay put and don't cause trouble. Saitama is as crazy as ever, he's looking for Garou while also buying groceries. This train of thought? I have no words. Just as the audience was feeling numb, the screen exposed another video, instantly perking everyone up, especially the women. In the footage, Garou, wrapped in bandages from head to toe, was lying on the bed, breathing heavily. Those abs, those pecs, those biceps, they all exuded masculine hormones, making countless women, and even some men, drool with desire. Suddenly, Garou seemed to sense a pervert staring at him and woke up with a jolt from his sleep. Where is this? Am I still alive? Suddenly, Garou noticed a letter on the round table. It read, Welcome to the Monster Association. Stay here and recover. If you go out now, you will only become a target for the heroes. You need a place to stay, and we have already prepared clothes for you. Before he even finished reading the letter, Garou crumpled it into a ball and threw it on the floor. After putting on the clothes, he kicked open the iron door and walked toward the exit where there was light. Just as he reached the exit, he saw Dues using her whip to control members of Narinki's private squad. At this moment, Joro also turned its attention to Garou. Garou, you woke up so quickly? Garou was expressionless. What do you want me to do? I want you to become an executive and assist me. Joro got straight to the point. However, our boss, Lord Orochi, has set a condition. We cannot yet confirm whether you are a true monster, so I need you to prove yourself. Garou was uncharacteristically cheeky. Do you want me to grow a horn on my head? Orochi said coldly, I'll give you 1 day. Bring back the head of any hero to see me. As for killing a hero, in that previous battle. Before Garou could finish, Phoenix Man interrupted. Unfortunately, Silverfang and the others are still alive. Elder Centipede was wiped out. Garou was shocked to hear this, but felt an inexplicable sense of relief in his heart. Afterward, he didn't say anything and left the Monster Association directly. Meanwhile, Joro ordered Bug God and Overgrown Rover to secretly keep an eye on Garou and not let him run away. After watching the video, everyone marveled at Garou's tenacious vitality. I didn't expect the Monster Association to make Garou an executive directly, they seem to value him highly. Perhaps it's Garou's anti-hero philosophy that attracted Joro, wanting to use Garou's ideology as a core platform to reform the thinking of those monsters. According to Orochi's condition, Garou needs to kill a hero to prove himself. Will Garou kill someone? If he really kills someone, then the principles Garou has always insisted on would become a joke, wouldn't they? Seeing that Garou was going to kill someone to prove himself, many heroes were quite frightened. Previously, they were keen on hunting down Garou precisely because they knew Garou wouldn't kill. But now it's different. Garou might actually kill someone. Screen chat box. Fubuki, strange, I clearly don't know this Joro, but why do I have a feeling of familiarity? Tatsumaki, I guess that big-eyed monster looks like the fleshlight you usually use. Fubuki, sister. Shut up. Saitama, huh, what is a fleshlight? Prisoner, it means the Holy Grail. Saitama, Naruhodo, Genos, Sensei, don't discuss those inappropriate topics, you should focus more on that Orochi. Saitama, that Orochi doesn't look very strong either. Atomic Samurai, don't be careless, Saitama. That monster is 2 stories tall, I can feel the immense pressure even through the screen. Even someone as arrogant as Garou is sweating. Silver. Fanyat Garou, are you really going to fall into depravity? Super Ally Darkshine, that overgrown rover and bug god, one is a king, one is a god. With names like that, their strength must not be underestimated. Sitch, please everyone, take this seriously, do not be careless. Regarding the matter of Garou killing to prove himself and joining the Monster Association, the audience felt a bit nervous. After all, this time he is really going to kill. And not just stopping at a point like before. So, who will Garou choose to kill? It won't be Saitama who was out buying groceries, right? That's impossible, right? Who gambles and loses every single day? The video continues. In the footage, Garou, with his hands in his pockets, was walking down the street when he suddenly saw people protesting and demonstrating. They were actually planning to defect to the Monster Association and then, by regularly offering sacrifices to the monsters, suppress their predation. However, some citizens opposed this. Rather than becoming a companion to the monsters, I'd rather die. At this time, the person leading the protest roared, then, we will offer you as a living sacrifice to the monsters. Grab him. The citizen was terrified and quickly hid behind Garou. The 2 men trying to grab the citizen saw this and immediately rushed toward Garou. As a result, they were flicked by Garou, knocking out their teeth, and they fell to the ground. Garou said coldly, to think you would try to rely on sacrificing others to let yourselves survive a little longer, you underestimate the monsters too much. Leaving these words behind, Garou walked away again. But his mind was on something else. With things the way they are now, when I, the strongest monster, make my grand entrance, the impact will probably be diminished. Meanwhile, as the news reported extensively, the public on the streets was very agitated and panicked. Monsters were wreaking havoc everywhere, leading to social unrest in public. Anxiety. Under this panic and oppression, countless vicious criminal incidents were spawned, fights and robberies occurred frequently, and the crime rate soared. For example, when Garou arrived at the entrance of a cafe restaurant, he saw a drunkard threatening an old man with a knife. He couldn't stand it, so he immediately stepped forward and forced the drunkard to back down. Then, Garou entered the restaurant and ordered a steak and rice set meal. Afterward, he began to feast. Strange, I don't feel full at all. After finishing a steak meal, Garou didn't have even a shred of satiety. Waiter, I want to order more. Bring everything on this page, plus all kinds of salads you have, and plenty of water. That's it for today. Meet you in next part. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment, it really helps the channel grow. Your support means everything, so hit that button and let me know what you want to see next.